Hi, it's Trevor from Plateau Astro. Over the next few weeks and months, you're going to hear a lot about a new space telescope, the James Webb Space Telescope. It's planned to be launched in mid-December 2021, and here's what it looks like in drawing form. It's a huge project involving NASA, the European Space Agency, and the Canadian Space Agency is playing a big role too. You've probably heard of another famous space telescope before, the Hubble Space Telescope. Here is what that one looks like. This has been up in space since 1990, and it drastically changed the way we look at the universe, and Webb aims to push that even further. There's plenty of great videos about both of these telescopes, but what I want to illustrate is where in space these two telescopes are located. A few years ago, outside of my apartment in Montreal, I built a scale model of the Earth and the Moon. This is the actual size of the Earth and Moon and the distance they would be from each other at 384,000 kilometers. It's a good visual. We're going to use this to learn where Hubble and Webb are located. Now, obviously, the telescopes are not to scale in the model, but everything else is. First, Hubble. We sent Hubble up on the space shuttle in 1990. Since then, it's been orbiting around Earth, about 550 kilometers high. Now, how far away from Earth is that? On my Earth-Moon fence, it's almost hard to illustrate because it's so close to the Earth. In this scale model, it would effectively be grazing the surface of Earth. Another way to imagine how close Hubble is in terms of driving up to it. If you were driving the speed limit, say 100 kilometers per hour, you could arrive at the telescope in about 5.5 hours. That's about how long it takes to drive from Montreal to Toronto. And Hubble was designed to work in this orbit. In fact, it's so close that 6 space shuttle missions with humans aboard were dedicated to deploying, fixing, and upgrading the telescope. So what about Webb? Well, Webb is a differently designed telescope, and it'll be further from Earth than Hubble, but how much further? Twice the distance of Hubble? Halfway to the Moon? All the way to the Moon? Whereas Hubble is only 550 kilometers away, Webb will be 1.5 million kilometers away. This is about 4 times the distance from the Earth to the Moon. To put that into perspective, driving at 100 kilometers per hour, it took us 5.5 hours to reach Hubble, but to reach Webb, it would take us 1 year and 9 months of non-stop driving. Where Webb is located has a name. It's called Lagrange Point 2, or L2. Why is it all the way out here? As mentioned before, Webb is different than Hubble. Webb will view the universe in infrared light. It has a giant sun shield to protect it from the heat of the sun, but by putting it so far away from Earth, it'll avoid the heat and light from Earth too. One more reason is that it has a totally clear view out there with no obstructions. With Hubble, it orbits around Earth about every 90 minutes or so. And if we want to get photos of a distant object, say my dépanneur across the street, a good chunk of that time, the Earth would be blocking our view. With Webb being way out at L2, it has an unimpeded view of objects in deep space, or in this case, the dépanneur across the street. There's a few other reasons why L2 is a great spot for space telescopes, but I want you to search for Lagrange Point 2 space telescopes and find out for yourself and let me know in the comments. Now, Hubble was deployed on the space shuttle with humans aboard and had missions afterwards to do repairs and upgrades. And it's close enough that we were able to do that. Webb, though, doesn't have that leisure. The furthest humans have traveled to is just beyond the Moon almost 50 years ago during the Apollo missions. And we currently have no ability to send humans to Webb and perform repairs if needed. So for the 1-month journey out to Lagrange Point 2, Webb will be deploying piece by complicated piece, and everything has to go right. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters. You help me take time out and create videos like this, and you help me pay rent on this apartment and that fence right there. If you found this informative and you want to see more like this, become a monthly supporter. Go to patreon.com/plateau_astro. There's a few different tiers and perks, including follow-up thoughts I have about the videos that I make. And if you become a $5 per month supporter or higher, I'll mail you a postcard that I have designed myself. All right, thank you. See you soon.